Good evening, everyone. I warmly welcome all of you to the fourth mentoring session of Idealize powered by Ideamart. So, I am San Idrimana and I will be the moderator for today's session. So, every individual in this world earns money, but only a few get the chance to be billionaires. Have anyone thought why? You will definitely get answers at the end of this session. So, on this road, Idealize powered by Ideamart, as young entrepreneurs, we all want to be billionaires through new tech inventions. So, to make that dream a reality, it is a must to have financial literacy. And today, we will help you all to get some insightful facts on managing your wealth, which will definitely be helpful in your journey of becoming a billionaire. Nothing of this event is possible if it is not for our beloved partner. So this is the time to recognize them. Our title partner for Idealize is Ideamart. Idealize PLC is Sri Lanka's premier connectivity provider. Ideamart, a global award-winning platform for developers and content providers presented by Dialog Axiata PLC, is a startup ecosystem enabler of Dialog Axiata PLC, making available telco APIs, thereby allowing any third-party technopreneur or entrepreneur with an idea to join, use unutilized telco assets, create their own mobility services, and monetize with zero risk and with no upfront fee. Ideamart ecosystem is 15,000 plus strong, which consists of both tech and non-tech service providers, offering 20,000 plus services to consumers in 6 mobile operators across multiple geographies while having the potential to reach 25 million subscribers. Their mission of fostering innovation and technology entrepreneurship through the Ideamart platform and its 15,000 plus strong local developers community. And also to mention that our banking partner, Hatton National Bank. Hatton National Bank is a premier private sector commercial bank operating in Sri Lanka with 251 branches spread across the island. The bank has been internationally recognized by the Asian Bankers magazine as the best retail bank in Sri Lanka on 10 occasions from 2007 to 2017. The Bank magazine of the UK named HNB as the Bank of the Year in 2012, 2013, and also in 2017. And HNB is also placed among the bankers' top 1,000 banks in the world. And HNB is actively involved in retail banking, corporate banking, international banking, treasury, and project financing. All right, so let's move on with our session. So next, I would like to invite Ms.Amanda Kalunura from Business Development Unit at Hatton National Bank, PLC. And she is a unique personality with a bunch of knowledge in the field of finance, marketing, and business administration. She has completed her primary and secondary education at Sacred Heart Convent Galle and studied ACIM at the Charted Institute of Marketing. She also graduated with the Upper Division Second Upper Honors from University of Plymouth in the year 2017 and now studies Masters of Business Administration at University of Colombo while working at Hatton National Bank. So now it's time to hand over the session to Ms. Amanda. Over to you, Ms. Amanda.
Thank you. Good evening. And thank you for joining the session today. For those who don't know me, I'm very impressed with the introduction given. My name is Amanda Kalunura, attached to the Business Development Unit of Hatton National Bank. So today my goal is to help you understand the importance of financial education. Can someone help me share the presentation, please? Okay, let's get started. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, so financial knowledge. I'm sure you have heard about financial knowledge in many occasions, but most of the people, the problem in the current, economy and the current generation is that even though we know what financial knowledge is, they don't know how to practice it. So my goal today is to help you understand what financial knowledge is and mostly to help you practice that in your life. So financial knowledge is important because it equips us with the knowledge and skills we need to manage money effectively. Does it ever feel like you're walking around with a gigantic mess in your pocket or strapped on your shoulder? You don't have to be an expert in personal finance or have a big investment portfolio to be financially secure. It's very important to understand the basics of financial planning. So we've got responsibilities and some serious responsibilities. You've got to buy a nice family house, a nice vehicle, marry grandly, you've got to satisfy those aunties, and the list goes on and on. So everything big in life requires planning and execution like financial goals. So these major goals requires a financial plan to become a reality. Now please don't freak out. It's actually simpler than it sounds. Financial planning is nothing but a step-by-step approach to meet one's life goals. Also, please do not forget the inflation because it will only make your goals more expensive as the time goes by. With a strong financial plan, savings can be directed to suitable investments. It will also prepare you to the challenges life will continue to throw at you. So, the point is that to turn any dream into a reality, one needs to plan for it. You also need to understand that the financial protection is a core part of your financial plan. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so while understanding what financial protection is, this term refers to a range of insurance policies that pay out under certain circumstances. So the aim of these financial protection is to give you peace of mind and financial security. Which protection products are right for you will depend on your circumstances and priorities. So among the most common types of policies, I'm sure you must have heard a lot about these policies. Life insurance comes first, very popular. So it would pay out a lump sum on your death. So critical illnesses policies, an income protection policy if you're not able to work for an extended period of time. So these are the most common financial protection policies that we can see in the day-to-day environment today. So the right financial protection can give you peace of mind. You know you have something to fall back on if necessary. It also acts as a safety net when things do not go according to the plan, while giving you time to get back on your feet. And to manage your wallet wisely, saving money is one of the best financial habits you can adopt. There are countless reasons to save money, I'm sure, even since when you're a small kid, our parents, our elders tell us to save money. So I'm sure we have many countless reasons to save money. So it's one of the essential aspects of building wealth and having a secure financial future. Saving money gives you a way out from uncertainties of life and provides you with an opportunity to enjoy a quality life. Putting aside a sum of money in a systematic manner can help you steer out many obstacles in your life. So, just like savings, personal budgeting is another most important financial habits you can adopt. So, in short, budgeting is important because it helps you control your spending, track your expenses, and save money. Additionally, it can also help you make better financial decisions, prepare for emergencies, and get out of debt and stay focused on your long-term financial goals. So you have long-term financial goals and short-term financial goals. So if I name few of the short-term financial goals, that would be, buying an iPhone, buying a laptop, but the long-term financial goals are most important that affects your life in a very deep way. So those are the goals that you have to, build a nice house, to buy a vehicle, stuff like that. And on the other hand, investing is how you take care of your financial security. It allows you to grow your wealth but also generate an additional income stream. Various investments such as stocks, bonds, or real estates will provide either growth or income, but in some cases, and most of the cases, both, if you do it correctly. um, so in this slide, we will be talking about the benefits of financial planning. So the first one is tracking and managing monthly income to put aside money for expenses and savings. So speaking of that, tracking your spending on a regular basis can give you an accurate picture of where your money is going and where you'd like it to go instead. I'm pretty sure there might be instances where you might not like your money is going, but you can't just help it. So you can track your monthly expenses by checking and closely monitoring your account statements, categorizing your expenses using budgeting and expenses trackers or apps which are available in the market. And most importantly, identifying room for change. You need to know when to change and what to change. And you have to be ready to make the necessary adjustments. So increasing cash flow by effectively monitoring spending, increasing personal capital, and starting an investment portfolio. So mind you, you don't need to be the wolf of the Wall Street to start investing. It's totally fine if you're more of a mouse of a Main Street. Even if you only have a few rupees to spare, your money will grow with compound interest. Once you have a little money to play with, you can, of course, start to invest. Also, an emergency fund. Building an emergency fund to provide for expenses due to accidents, illnesses, or other unexpected events. An emergency fund is what we call a stash of money that is set aside to cover the financial surprises life throws your way. So these unexpected events can be very stressful, and most importantly, it can be very costly to the point where it will be really hard for you to bear. So in such cases, having an emergency fund will definitely be a helping hand. Next slide, please. most difficult aspects of personal finance is to figure out the best way to utilize your money. Especially for the millennial generation, it's very tough to figure out how to save big on a small budget. But the key to lessening your spending is to cut back a little in each area versus taking out big chunks of your budget all at once. It will definitely take a little work in the beginning, but I'm sure you'll find your financial stress start to decrease once you're able to save and pay more of your debt. So there are other practices such as, reducing monthly electricity consumption, water consumption, monthly telephone bill. And this is a subject I would like to talk a little in depth. Avoid impulse buying. Let's be very honest here. Impulse buying is kind of fun. Well, it's very fun, at least in the moment, not always. So, an impulse buy is anytime you purchase something you weren't planning to. So it can start off as small as grabbing a candy bar in the checkout line that was not on your grocery list, or as big as walking into a car dealership just to browse and walking out with a brand new SUV. So if it's not planned for in your budget ahead of time, it's an impulse. So, in your financial journey, it's highly important that you avoid impulse buys. Manage monthly consumption of foods, avoid excessive stocks. So, I don't think I need to speak a lot about that area. Okay, the next one is avoid comparison with others. Especially these days, it's really hard to be on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and not compare yourself to others. So it's either your body is not good enough, your wardrobe is not trendy enough, and your house is not pottery barn enough. So there can be many instances where you don't feel like you are not enough. So it will definitely make you feel like you yourself is not enough. When I say this, I'm also talking to myself. If I'm not careful, I can wind up spending hours scrolling through the lives of these people. It may be celebrities, it may be my personal friends, or the people I might even not know. And it leaves me feeling not so great about myself, which will also lead to unwanted spending and mental energy just trying to keep up. So we need to break the comparison cycle because it's a game we will never win. Next slide. I have prepared a video which can be shown. Yes. Can we next slide, please? Okay. So we at HNB we have developed a budget planner to support you with your financial planning. So this is what it looks like. So if you want to have this, I can share this with you if you contact me or any of the organizers of the AIESEC committee of University of Moratuwa. Next slide. So in this slide, we will be talking about the types of savings and deposits. So I will be explaining about 4 types of savings and deposits accounts. First one is recurring deposit savings account. Recurring deposits are savings instruments that help you to save on a monthly basis. You can save a certain amount every month for a fixed number of months. So during the saving period, your deposit will earn interest on the outstanding balance, including interest each month. And investment-linked savings accounts are where a portion of savings will be put into an investment fund linked to the account. And the other type of account is children's savings account. I'm sure you're very familiar with this account type. It's specially designed for children to help them learn about money management and develop good savings habit until the age of 18. With children's savings accounts, children learn to manage money, and parents and relatives or friends have a place to save for the child they care about. Senior citizens accounts are exclusively formulated for senior citizens aged 60 and above and gives higher interest rates with value-added services. Next slide. Okay, what is debt management? Debt management is the method of reducing an existing debit burden through a repayment plan, as well as to be better handle the debt. Next slide. So, what is a repayment plan? A repayment plan refers to a personal payoff plan that you set up to eliminate debt. More formally, you can enroll in debt repayment plans to pay off specific types of debt in the most efficient way possible. So here, the goal is usually to find the fastest way to get out of debt with the lowest interest charges. Avoiding additional debt. Additional debt can be avoided as long as you maintain your spending and payment habits that help you avoid getting yourself in over your head. And speaking about defaulting loans, defaulting on a loan happens when repayments aren't made for a certain period of time, and defaulting will drastically reduce your credit score, impact your ability to receive future credit. That is one of the most biggest hits you can experience in a default loan, and it can also lead to the removal of personal property. So if you can't make payments on time, I would personally advise you that it's important to contact your lender, which means the bank or the financial institution, to discuss restructuring your loan terms. And debt consolidation is the act of taking out a new loan to pay off other liabilities and consumer debts. Multiple debts are combined into a single larger debt, such as a loan, and usually with more favorable payoff terms. A lower interest rate, it comes with a lower interest rate and a lower monthly payment, or in most other cases, both. Next slide. I'm very sure if you have visited a bank or a financial institution to obtain a loan or some other banking facility, you have gone through the credit evaluation process. So the credit evaluation is the process an individual must go through to become eligible for a loan over an extended period. So this is the criteria considered for credit evaluation. So speaking of the repayment capacity of the customer, repayment capacity is calculated by multiplying the total fixed income by 60%. So if it's a salaried customer, as an example, we consider the basic salary plus fixed allowances as the fixed income. So out of that portion, we will be taking 60% out of that fixed income portion. We will be taking 60% as the repayment capacity of the customer. Other income also can be considered with a clear source of proof, and the commitments of the customer, such as the facilities they maintain with other banks or any other financial institution. This is, of course, including your credit card limits and outstanding. And most importantly, the customer should have a clear crib. So in the coming slide, I will be talking about the crib as well. Can we move to the next slide? Right. So the Credit Information Bureau of Sri Lanka, which is also known as the CRIB, offers products and services to banks and financial institutions by collecting credit information from members and distributing such data by a way of credit information reports to banks and other financial institutions on their request. So a credit information report, which is also known as a CRIB report, contains factual information on individuals and corporates, both the individuals as well as the corporates. It contains the subject's name, address, the NIC number, and the details of the credit, such as, the type of credit, whether it's a personal loan, a lease, or a credit card, or an credit limit. So credit limit comes to credit cards and the balance outstanding and the status of such credit. So if you can see the screen, this is how a CRIP report looks like. Moving on to the next slide. So your credit report is a record of your credit repayment history compiled from different banks or financial institutes. So this CRIB report contains all the facilities that you have taken from different banks. It doesn't have to be a particular bank, a specific bank, but it contains your complete repayment history attached, linked to all the banks you have dealt with. So as your bank will check your credit information to assess your credit worthiness prior to making a decision, a good repayment history will make it easier for you to obtain credit faster and at concessionary terms. So by doing this, even from the bank side, banks can make better lending decisions quickly and objectively. So if your crib is not clear, if you have a bad crib, so if you look at the screen, you can see a crib report. It's a screenshot of a crib report. So looking at this, it's highly important you maintain a good repayment history. So if you can see the highlighted area in green is where the customer has paid his installments in a timely manner without missing any installments. But if you can see, the red ones are where the customer has had mishaps in repaying the loan or the credit card. So this good repayment history will make you eligible to obtain facilities from the banks. So always make sure to pay your installments, to pay your credit card on time, so that it will help your future. In the future, if you're planning to get a credit card or a loan facility, clear crib is mandatory. Next slide. So I'm very sure that you are very familiar with the term credit card. You must be using many credit cards, not just one, maybe even more than one. So what is a credit card? A credit card is a piece of plastic or a metal issued by a bank or a financial institution that allows cardholders, the owner of the credit card, to borrow funds with which to pay off goods and services with merchants that accept cards for payments. So credit cards impose the condition that cardholders pay back the borrowed money plus any applicable interest, as well as any additional agreed upon charges, either in full by the billing date or over the time. So a credit card allows you to access a line of credit offered by a financial institution or a bank. Every time you pay for something with a credit card, that is actually you borrowing money from the bank to cover your purchase. And then you have to pay that money back either in full at the end of the month or over time. So when I say at the end of the month, you have to settle your credit card bill. When I say over time, most of the banks, almost all the banks, have given the option of installments. You must have seen many advertisements, e-flyers going around saying, 0% installments up to 12 months. You can go up to even, 36 months. So by over time, we mean that you can convert your transaction to an installment plan with the support of your bank. So speaking of the advantages of the credit card, I will just briefly talk about this area. It's very easy to carry, very easy to use. It's actually safer than cash, than carrying a lot of cash in your wallet. It's buy now, pay later. Even if you don't have the money with you, you can afford the things that is necessary for you to have. And credit cards have a lot of discounts. You must have seen many discounts going on, especially during this season. And credit card is a contactless payment. You can do contactless payments as well. Contact payments and contactless payments as well. While talking about the advantages of the credit card, there are also disadvantages of the credit cards as well. So you have to always be aware of the debt spiral, the credit damage. Like I mentioned earlier, you have to take care of your credit card fraud. Many frauds are going on with regard to the credit cards and many other financial products. So you have to be very careful of credit card fraud, and the most important and the most common one, overspending. You need to have self discipline. You have to practice that habit not to overspend. Moving on to the next slide. So if you look at the grid here, there are 4 periods in the credit card payment cycle where the customer is given the option to choose the due date of the credit card according to their preference. And the given minimum and maximum grace periods are 25 and 55 days accordingly. So if you look at this example given in the slide, let's say you select the 9th day as your statement date. In that case, 9th June 2021 will be your statement date and 3rd July will be your due date. So, as an example, if you make a purchase on 8th June, you will have 25 days to pay since the due date is 3rd July. So, this amount will be added to the statement on 9th June. And if you make a purchase on 10th June, you will have 55 days to pay since your due date is 3rd August. So again, this amount will be added to the statement of 9th. Moving on to the next slide. Especially during the pandemic, I'm sure almost everyone has gotten very comfortable, very familiar with online banking. So banking online means accessing your bank account and carrying out financial transactions through the internet on your smartphone or tablet or even your computer. It's very quick, usually free. In our bank, it's always free and allows you to carry out a number of tasks such as paying bills and transferring money. And also, you do not have to visit or call your bank. It's just in your fingertips. It's just a matter of just clicking a button and entering your details, and your work is done. So by using online banking, you can enjoy a full range of services with instant access 24/7 from your computer, tablet, or your mobile phone, anytime, anywhere. Online banking is very secure because access to banking information is protected by multiple protection layers to keep your personal data private and prevent unauthorized access. So if you have made online payment, or if you have done any online transactions, you must be familiar with the OTP. So when you click on the transaction, when you submit the transaction, you get an OTP, one-time password, to your mobile phone. So after entering that only, the transaction will be completed. So let's say in such an event where your banking information is stolen, or if a fraud happens, a third party cannot do any transactions or misuse your credit because of this protection layer. So likewise, there are many protection layers uh, are implemented to keep your personal data very private. And also, By automating your finances using the bill pay services, you can ensure your payments are on time. You can schedule your payments. You can, create special structures. You can, save your data or your other payment details, and you can schedule the payments as well. You can finally skip the long lines. It's very easy to check balances on all accounts and view records of transactions from the palm of your hand. You can easily save time and money with this free service and schedule payments. Like I mentioned earlier, you can schedule payments or set up to auto pay to automatically pay bills through online banking. You can also automate your savings and make loan payments, transfer money between accounts, and integrate with other apps, view statements, and many more benefits are available in online banking. Moving on to the next slide. This is a small screenshot I've taken from the video we watched before the session. So HNB recently launched a new digital banking app with a new face and with many exciting features. So if you're already registered with HNB for online banking, please download our new HNB digital banking app. And also if you're not an HNB customer or you have not registered with us for online banking, my friend, you're missing out a lot. So moving on to the next slide, I will be talking about the products that is offered by HNB. So these are few of the product out of many products. I have chosen very few products to talk about today. Can we go to the next slide? All right. So HNB Youth Account, it's a savings account that is introduced for the customers of age between 18 and 30, and we have provided very special rates, many benefits, range of offers through HNB debit cards. We provide free internet banking, and the most important feature, the most attractive feature is that there is a rate reduction going on when obtaining loans for specific exclusively for HNB youth customers. So now that you have an idea as to what a credit card is and what it does, HNB also has a range of credit cards. We also have co-branded and affinity cards along with the general line of credit cards we carry. So the most important and the most attractive feature of HNB credit cards is that from the date of transaction, you get a minimum of 25 days and 55 days to settle the payment without any charge, and the adjoining fee is completely waived off. First year annual fee is waived off. And I'm sure you must have seen, you must have experienced that HNB credit cards have a lot of offers and discounts identified in any merchant. You name it, we give discounts for that merchant. So you have that option. And 0% in installment plans up to 12 months for education institute education related payments or medical expenses, etc., and up to 60 months with a nominal handling fee. So up to 12 months for payments like education payments and medical expenses, you can go without any additional fee. And for other expenses, of course, if you go till 60 months, there's a small handling fee involved. Next slide. Okay, speaking of education loans, I think this will be very important for you. You might be, planning to start your higher studies or start your professional qualification. Maybe your brother or sister or a friend is planning to start their higher education, but most of the people face many financial bottlenecks when they start their higher education. So HNB recently revamped our education loan, and we have come up with a very attractive product. So if you're studying it at any institute, and if that particular institute is approved by the bank, you can obtain the education loan. And we will be funding 90% of the course fee. The 10% of the course fee has to be borne by you, it as a equity contribution, but we will be taking care of the 90% portion of the course fee. So if you are working, you can apply on your own. But if you are not working, if you are not employed, you can always join with either of your parents or family member or a caretaker and apply for the loan. So the minimum loan amount is 100,000 and the maximum loan amount is 3 million. You can go up to 3 million without any security. We don't ask for guarantors. We don't ask for mortgages. So without any security, on a clean basis, you can go up to 3 million. So the most exciting and the beauty of this product is that a grace period is given, maximum 4.5 years, where you only have to pay the interest. So during your study period, you can only pay the interest, and after you find employment, we even give you extra 6 months, additional 6 months to find employment, and after that you can find a job and pay off the loan. So until then your installment will be very small because we will be only charging the interest. Next slide please. So these are the calculations we have done, a sample calculation done for the installment of 100,000. So we have two options. One is the loan with the grace period and the second option is loan without the grace period. So like I mentioned earlier, during the grace period, you only pay the interest, and if you want to get the loan without the grace period, you can pay it off like a normal loan with an equity monthly installment. So we have very attractive rates. If you want to apply for a education loan, please contact us because we have many benefits going on. We can even couple your laptop fee along with the education loan, and we can help you obtain credits for you to purchase a laptop as well. Moving on, next slide. Okay, so personal loans and housing loans. I'm not going to explain this in detail because personal loans are usually obtained to purchase vehicles, computers, to maybe to for your educational purposes, even for your wedding day. So HNB also has a very attractive personal loan scheme for you to achieve your financial goals. I mentioned earlier in the presentation, and of course housing loans to purchase a bare land and for the construction of your residential house, or even to purchase a fully completed residential house and a property or an apartment. Moving on, next slide. So, speaking of the eligibility for housing loans, personal loans, and leases, this is what I wanted to emphasize while speaking of our products. The minimum salary requirements are 40,000, maximum monthly gross income. Minimum monthly basic salary has to be 30,000, and the minimum take home salary has to be 25,000. So you have to be under the permanent cadre to obtain a loan. If you are under fixed term contract, or if you are an intern, I'm really sorry, not at the moment. We are not funding for FTC or outsourced staff members. So if you're under the permanent cadre, you can apply for the loan, and you have to have the minimum salary requirement. So clear crib, like I mentioned earlier, crib is really important. Crib has to be clear. If there are any issues in the crib, we will not be able to process the loan. And the minimum DSR requirement, again, I mentioned earlier, we check your DSR by multiplying the fixed income by 60%. So that has to be fulfilled in order to obtain the loan facility. So the required documents are mentioned in the slide. The employment verification letter, a salary undertaking, plus 3 months salary slips for salaried clients, and of course the copy of your NIC. Moving on, these are the interest rates for personal loans, housing loans, and leases. Of course, you can of course contact us for more details if you want more clarity with this regard. We are very happy to help you. Moving on to the next slide. So that's basically it. This is the end of my presentation. So I would like to extend my sincere thanks to the members of AIESEC, University of Moratuwa, and Ideamart for this opportunity you gave me to address this group of marvelous listeners. I hope you learned something new today. Good luck and tons of best wishes for the competition and your future endeavors. Thanks again and good night.
Thank you very much, Ms. Amanda, for that insightful session. And now let's move on with the Q&A session. So, Ms. Amanda, I will direct you some questions that our audience have forwarded, and you can answer them. So, going on with the first question we have. So, they're asking that, can you mention some tips for university student budget planning?
Okay, so me being a university student few years back, I did not have any, budget plannings or whatsoever. I had no idea. So, if you're not working, if you're unemployed at the moment, you can, of course, you will be surviving, you will be spending your parents' money. So, I would highly appreciate if you could, save some part of your allowance, some part of the money your parents give you to spend for your university expenses. And of course, something I would highly encourage is for you to start your own thing. If you have any skills or any talents, or if you are passionate about something, you can always become an entrepreneur. You can always start earning on your own without putting the burden to your family members. So if you can work on something like that, something you're passionate about, something you're good at, you can release that burden from your parents. And even if you're doing a job, even when you're doing a job, you have your weekends free, you're free after 5 o'clock. So if you can utilize that time to start something on your own, that would be really helpful. And also, do not spend on unnecessary things. So I know, being a university student, you spend a lot on data, your clothes. If you're a girl, of course, clothes and food. If you're a foodie like me, you would definitely spend a lot on food. So you can always switch to healthy options, and you can always eat from home.
Yeah, so let's move on with the second question. So, how to manage debts in the COVID period?
So in the COVID period, central bank and almost all the financial institutions have introduced moratoriums. I don't know whether you're aware of that. So if you have any difficulty paying off your installments during this period, the government and the central bank has given you a solution where you can always communicate to your lender, the bank or the financial institution, and get a moratorium. You can get a relief. You can get a relief for a specific period of time, but that is of course under the certain rules and regulations. But you can do that, and I think this period is a period where you can save to the maximum level. So, me being a little bit of a reckless spender, not anymore, but then I used to be. I find this period, especially your home, you don't go out, you don't, you eat at home, so you don't meet with your friends, you don't spend a lot of money, you don't buy clothes. So, this is the best time you could save and get yourself out of debt. So, if you have any situations where you're stuck, uh, you know, stuck uh, without having to pay your debt, I think this is the best time for you to start saving and start, paying off your debt. And also, focus on your financial plan, like I mentioned in the presentation.
Yes. So now let's move on to the fourth question, I think. Yeah. So disregarding this competition, I think, how does HNB help young entrepreneurs financially to grow?
Okay, so that's a good question. We have a separate division called SME division, where we provide loans to the entrepreneurs. If you go to our Facebook page, you can see few of the things we have done with young entrepreneurs. So if we see a potential in you, and if we feel like, okay, this is something we should be involved in, we will definitely help young entrepreneurs. You can always obtain SME loans. So if you have any plans to have a business on your own, you can always count on us. You can always come to us, because what we believe is, we believe that we should be with our customers during the first few steps of their business career, so that one day when they grow into bigger companies, they will always be with us. So what we believe is that, we want to be there for you when you keep your first step in this entrepreneur journey of yours. So yes, the answer is yes. There are many facilities that comes with the SME loan facilities as well. So you can always contact us if you want to obtain a loan.
Yeah, I think it will be very pleased information that you gave us. And next, we have quite a bit long question. So, due to the current economic situation in Sri Lanka, there any way that you have planned to give a loan scheme for students who are learning the private universities where they can pay while they are doing a job? And isn't it better to go for loan and invest that money rather than saving money? And is there any safer way that you recommend to invest in this economic crisis we are facing? So I think simply he's asking about to get a loan and invest in somewhere and to earn profit from that thing.
Okay, so I'm really sorry. My answer is going to disappoint you. Education loans, of course, we don't give it for the customer's hand. We directly disburse the education loans to the institute. If you're specifically talking about education loans, but of course, I personally have many clients who obtain loans to invest in the share market, or if they see any investment opportunities, of course they go for it. So education loan, we do not personally disburse it into the customer's account, but for the university account. But if you have any plans to invest, what I would suggest is to do a background check first, because even during the pandemic, there are industries that are thriving, that are doing really well even during this pandemic. So it's actually up to you to do the background check, to talk to few people who are really good at this subject, and identifying where to invest and what to invest, what to you know invest. So I think investing is also a good opportunity to do during this pandemic, but you have to do it smartly. I don't think you should, just go and invest just like that. I think it's best if you can do a background check and then invest your money. Personal loans, of course, you can be utilized to invest money, but not the education loans.
Yeah, I think he gave his answer, and let's move on with the next question. Is HNB offering any kind of financial support like scholarships for student entrepreneurs? It's regarding the scholarships.
Scholarships, of course, I don't quite get the question. Scholarships with regard to universities. So it's like this. Scholarships, of course, are connected with the universities. So the scholarship has to be given by the university. The financial support we provide is through our education loan. So through our education loan, we provide a lot of support, a lot of benefits. But we also provide internship opportunities for customers. So scholarship opportunities, of course, you will have to check with your institute, or um, maybe one day we can get together with the institute and provide scholarship opportunities.
Yeah.
But that is mainly
So
up to the institute.
to the institute. Thank you very much. And we have a technical question next. Wait a minute. So how? So can we connect a bank card with the Solo app? I think
You
it's
can. You can. So it can either be a debit card or a credit card. You can link any bank. So the beauty of this Solo app is that you can link any of your bank account. It doesn't have to be HNB account or HNB card per se. So you can add any bank, any account, any credit card to the Solo app, and you can make payments. That is possible.
yeah, good to know that. And next question we have: what are the customized banking facilities that you would recommend for business startups? Can you briefly go through?
Business startups, of course, it's the SME loans. We have, we are continuously adding features, more benefits to the loans to relieve our customers from any financial bottlenecks they may face during their entrepreneurship journey. So, like I mentioned earlier, that would be the SME loan facility, because that
Yes.
is specifically designed for the young entrepreneurs, young business starters.
Yes. So moving on with the next question. What percentage of an initial capital for a business as for the recommendation should be obtained as a loan?
What percentage?
So what percentage of an initial capital for a business? Wait a second. I don't get that question properly. If someone is want to send it, please send it again, and we will
Please.
clarify that. Yes. Let's move on with the next question. Is there any way that you have planned to give a loan scheme for the students who are learning in the private universities where they can pay while they are doing a job? I think you have answered that question, right? Yes.
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 So education loan is open to anyone. So the maximum benefit we can provide you is that the grace period, where you only have to pay the interest during the study period, and after the employment you can start paying off both the capital and interest. So during the period you pay the interest, the installment is very less compared to any other loans, and the interest rate is also very attractive. So yes.
All right. So I think that's all the questions we have. We will wait for a minute for some extra questions. If they have, please forward them. Yes, so we will wrap up the session, wrap up the Q&A session now. And thank you very much, Ms. Amanda, for having for spending your valuable time with us and educating us. And thank you everyone who joined with us for this session. And hope you will be joining with us for our next sessions as well, participants. And we will be having our next session on Sunday, 13th. And until then, stay safe and let's wrap up this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Good night. Thanks.
Good night. Good night, everyone.